Hi everyone, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and I have with me, as usual, Saint Keeks. And it's been a long break since we guys met each other, and since we guys like met you guys as well. And it's been a good long international break, and finally this weekend we have a La Liga match coming up. We're gonna get back to the league phases, and but we have a lot to talk about because with the latest news and obviously the international break which happened recently, and there were like pretty good matches, and obviously the Argentina versus Brazil was a really good match. I think I enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed it. It felt like for some reason it felt like Atletico versus Real Madrid for some reason. I don't know why. But that was an amazing match, and so we're gonna start today's topic with the international break. Okay, so starting with Sorloth, I think he had a pretty good international break as well. He scored a goal, he assisted a goal in one match, and then I think they won both their games, right? Yeah, Norway won both their
Yeah,
games. And then Oblak had a pretty good match as well. I think he kept the clean sheet in both of his matches as well.
yeah, he did.
And Lenormand, yeah, but again, like I was really scared, like with that tackle on him from Hato, in Netherlands match. But yeah,
Yeah,
thankfully he's all fine, and he's qualified for the UEFA Nations League semi-finals, and which is a pretty good thing. They're gonna face France next time, which I think Spain will win. I reckon Spain to win that match as well. And next and the last, obviously, Argentina de Madrid, like which is a focal point because of the Argentina Brazil match. Uh, so we're going to talk about this again. So we had Alvarez scoring in the fourth minute, a really nice finish by him
hmm
through the legs of the keeper. And then obviously Giuliano Simeone, I mean like the star man, to be honest, for the first touch and that banger of a goal, and especially like his first goal coming against Brazil as well. I mean, like that's like a dream come true. Like literally, like what a season he's having. What a
hmm
season he's having. And then DePaul, like you can see, like this season DePaul has been like really good. Like the performance from him has been really good. And like this time he has matched his performance from international and as well as to his club. Like Simeone used to say, like he's like with us with Atletico, he's been like he used to be like okay, but now like the performance level has been the same for both the teams, whether it's the national team, whether it's the club level as well. And what are your thoughts and geeks? What do you think about the international break and our pace?
Uh, I didn't get to catch his second Sorloth, Norway game with Sorloth. I know he scored against Israel. I think the first game they played was against Moldova. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So,
against Moldova. Yeah. They played against Moldova.
um, they both. He's been very consistent for Norway. So I'm happy for him. I hope he takes that form into Atletico right afterwards. Um, Oblak, as per usual, is a keeper doesn't have nearly as much influence on the game as a lot of other positions as an outfield player, but he always tends to shine for Slovenia. Managed to get his first bout with uh, with Slovenia to get them to the Euros last year. The big game against Portugal. Sorry, that was great. Happy. I hope to see him again in another international tournament. Um, Spain was a very fun match. I
Yeah, that was a good match. Yeah. That was again, yeah.
It
Sorry,
was a
like
great match. It was a little sad for Kubasi where he got injured early into the game. Hoyson came. No, not that's the. I'm mixing up the two games. Hoyson started this game. Kubasi was injured the last game.
yeah.
So
When they played,
Lenormand, eh, Lenormand being his partner, and it was a really nice partnership where you could see Hoyson whenever he felt like he wanted to go forward, he could go forward because you just had Lenormand being there as the anchor and being able to take care of a lot of the defensive things. And you see him just roaming wherever he wants to go, and it was fantastic to watch. It's a really nice partnership. Maybe a hint to the future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But But my only frustration was it felt like the midfield on the day was very poor, and you could see I love Zubimeni. Zubimeni is a great player. You could see the difference in control compared to Zubimendi to Rodri, because transitions were just happening whenever they could happen, and it was like it felt like a lot of times the back line was very bare. And even with Mingueza there now, a much better defensive player than Poro, while still offering a lot of the offense, it was still having a lot of like offensive issues in terms of there's holes. The thing is like the, the defense was fine. I had no problems with the defense. The midfield was a little spaced out, and the
But
penalty
again,
that they gave from against Lowen with the Depay, I can't understand that one. I'm really sorry. I just don't understand that one.
exactly.
Yeah, as you say.
Yeah. Now, like back to the Argentina thing. What do you think about that match?
Great game, fantastic game. Um, I didn't think Brazil was ever going to win it because of the fact that it was in Argentina and Brazil isn't in great form right now. Uh, I think Argentina was fantastic from start to finish. There was a blip with the Romero situation where he kind of gave away the ball and Cunha immediately punished him. And props to him for that. It's a past coach scenario. I'm happy for him. This is his first goal for Brazil senior team. So happy for him. But um, watching Argentina was really fun to watch, especially because of the fact that Messi was not there. And you could see that Scaloni is laying the groundworks for a future team. And so many of those groundworks and key pieces are from Atletico. And you can see a lot of similarities in his strategy with Atletico Madrid, where you see the Paul freely, he's doing all of the hard work in the midfield while being able to facilitate further forward with helping out Enzo, helping out Alvarez, helping out, oh my goodness, Almada, and helping out these other players. And then you had Juliano come off the bench. Fantastic contribution. Immediately, just boom, bang, an amazing goal. I
Exactly.
love.
Almada has been pretty good actually, and like the fact that like we were rumored to be like signing him, like I think it was the previous season,
Mhm.
which was like pretty hot at that moment, and then he went back to I think Brazil, and then from Brazil now he came to Lyon. I think now Almada is I think he is the one to watch. He's the one to watch. We'll see about that. But yeah, I think for me, like since like Messi is almost like not their kind of person in the Argentina
Mhm.
national team. But like I know Argentinians, like they obviously they want to have Messi in their national team, and he will definitely play. I think in the 2026 World Cup as well. But I think like Julian Alvarez is taking that mantle like from Messi, that the guy to take the national team forward. I think Julian Alvarez is slowly becoming that guy, the main guy for the Argentina national team. I can see it happening, and for me, this international break was perfect to be honest because we were having a bad week. We had few
Mhm.
losses here and there. Our players were down with the mentality. They were not like we could see, like they were not really like feeling themselves as they were previously. I think this international break has been pretty good for us because now the players are back in a good mood. You can see like the Argentinian players, they obviously must be in a very good mood after beating Brazil, and then Lenormand as well, like he's coming off with the good international break. So I think now coming back from this international break, it'll be all good vibes, like all of them in good mood, looking to forward to finish the season on like a top note. So I
Mhm.
think this was a much needed break for us. And now I think that we can really push for the title. We can really go on with the 10 games remaining. And we have the Copa del Rey match remaining as well. I think this international break was really good for us. And this is the first time I'm saying this actually, like international break being good for the team. I mean, like, whereas
Yeah.
like international breaks, people don't usually like international breaks, but like for me, this was a blessing. And I hope the form keep going the same way for our club as well. But
Yeah.
anyway, now we have a lot to discuss because there are a lot of news, a lot of transfer rumors. We're gonna start with the pretty hot ones, which is either Correa or Griezmann leaving this summer. With Griezmann being linked to LAFC, with Olivier Giroud in the match as well, he said that like he's gonna have a meeting with Atletico Madrid, and then we'll see what will happen. And there are like major reports coming from Spain as well that Griezmann might leave. We like it's a still uncertainty. We still don't know what's gonna
Hmm.
go on. And then obviously Angel Correa, our super sub, he's been at the club for 10 years. I really love the guy. Never complained about anything. Never really complained about the minutes as well. Every time he came on the pitch, he gave his 100%. For me, it's like the classic Athletic guy. And a guy with Simeone can trust coming off the bench as well. Super sub, to putting it in a simple way. And
Hmm.
now he's being linked to Tigres, which is pretty strong links, and he's been linked to some clubs from Turkey as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, the Griezmann situation, it's been kind of like in the back of everybody. They said for Atletico Madrid fans for a while now, like since maybe somewhere in between last summer to like January, everybody there was a kind of understanding that he would eventually go to MLS. We weren't sure if it was going to be at the end of the season, maybe one more year. Uh, Especially with him retiring from France, there was this notion that we were like, is this it? Is this our last dance? Like, and it kind of felt like that throughout the time. It's like the problem with Korea in comparison is you never really know. Korea is he loves Atletico. He says it. He has it tattooed over his chest, and he's been here for a large part of Simeone's tenure in Atletico. And there have been many times where he's been closely linked to leave. You never really know if he will leave or if he'll stay, whether or not he'll get a contract extension. It for a lot of times it was just like, oh yeah, for sure he'll just stay, and then randomly we just get in between the middle of the season, not even like during the window, is like in between the season we get news that he's possibly leaving.
Yeah, there was
And
a rumor. There was a rumor back in time. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was like 2 years back or something, where
yeah,
AC Milan wanted him. I think that was
yeah,
at that time like we were talking about like around 35 to 40 million for his
yeah, that
sale.
was somewhat years back, and he was apparently really close to leaving, but it didn't manifest because he didn't want to go in the end. But it's you, I think this it's hard to state their impact on the team. They're huge players, both on and off the pitch, so it's kind of hard to replace them. And then even if you do replace them, how you replace them, it's like are both going to leave? If one stays, does the other one leave? It's a very uncertain time for both of them, I'd say.
For sure. I think like it's gonna be another busy transfer period for us, another summer transfer window, which we're gonna be really busy. There's gonna be a lot of rumors. There's gonna be a lot of news, and so guys, you guys can follow Atleti Fanatics on Twitter as well, on X as well. The username you'll find it in the description channel, and obviously like we're gonna be making videos as well. every now- But for me, I think Griezmann, I think he will leave this summer. I feel so, and Korea, I think he will leave as well. And I think this is the time like which we have to, because like Griezmann is 34 now.
Hmm.
Korea is in 30s as well, and he's not getting the minutes as well. And there was a report where said like he needed minutes for the World Cup as well. So like for sure I know like he won't get the minutes in this Atleti team, because like he's played like what around 1,000 minutes this season.
Hmm.
I think like he's only above Rodrigo Riquelme, which another guy I think like he might leave as well. Riquelme, I think we will cash upon him. But anyway, moving to our next topic, which is which is a good news, which is Alvaro Carreras from Benfica, and the price tag is just 18 million. And I think this guy has been really like a really good talent, and I have no idea how did like Man United let him go. To be honest, given the situation they're in,
Uh,
and now just like look at him going on in Benfica. He's good in the Champions League and everything. What are your thoughts on Alvaro Carreras, St. Geeks?
he he's an amazing left back. I thought he was very good some years ago when I was alerted to him. I every now and then, if I have time, I try to take into Man United's preseason. I looked at him and I was like, hey, this guy looks kind of good. And then they just randomly were like, yeah, we're giving him to Benfica. I was just like, surely you don't need money so much that you would get rid of a good fullback you need, you know? But that's how Man United is. They don't really make sense a lot of times. But we've seen him this season. We saw him against us in Champions League. Very good. We saw him against Barcelona in the Champions League. Very good. Yamal had a lot of problems trying to get across or trying to actually challenge him one on one. And so, which is rare considering how many fullbacks in not just in La Liga but in Europe who've struggled against Yamal to actually stop him from doing what he wants to do. And so in that, you saw in the first leg, Barcelona barely beat them. Second leg, he wasn't able to play because he was suspended, and Yamal just ran riot, and it was just a different game. And I think that's a sign that he's a real difference maker. And if we could get somebody like that at left back,
And
it'd be
he's
great.
only 22 as well. He's only 22
He's
as well.
22, Spanish. He
Branch, and like we can literally make him our next Felipe Luis. Like he can stay for years to come.
Similarly to Felipe Luis, he also had a past history with Real Madrid, which is very funny to me. So it feels like everything is kind of falling into place with
And this
Carreras.
is the position like where we really have to strengthen ourselves. Like Ronaldo, I think again like, another guy which I think he's gonna have a last season with us. I think he's gonna leave as well. Galan, I mean, like I give him his 100%. Like the comeback he had. Like from being on the sidelines, going to Real
Mhm.
Sociedad, and then coming back to the starting lineup. Like I have huge respect for that, for the hard work he did. But again, like every time we've seen him going against like a
Remotely
fast,
decent.
yeah, like a really good talented figure, like he's been cooked. Yermal, Frimpong,
Rodrigo.
Dembele, Rodrigo, the list goes on. So I
Yeah.
think this is the position where we really have to invest. And just looking at his stats right now, I would say like he's much better than the two options we have according to this season. Like his dribbling is much better than these two guys. His tackling is much better. His
The
aerial duality is much better, and then crossing, I think he can improve. Again, and the chances created, I tell you, chances like it's literally double
yeah.
of fullbacks, literally double this.
The only
So I
thing I
think
would say though is I think Ronaldo, he's such a powerhouse defensively that it kind of undermines his offensive capabilities, you know? So it's like he's okay going forward, but he's such a good player defensively that it's just like, all right, I'm fine with whatever's going on there, you know? Whereas like I feel like the flaws don't outweigh the positives for Galan a lot of times defensively. You know, it's
true.
like
True. But yeah, I think this is the signing we should actually go for. And plus, like the fact that like, we can literally get him for 18 million euros, that's his transfer fee. That's literally
mhm,
the market price of him, which is much better than the other option which we were linked in recently.
mhm.
Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez, I think he's good. He's in Premier League. He has that experience. I've seen him play in Premier League as well. He's pretty solid. But the thing is like his price tag. It's around 50, 60 plus like the interest from the clubs as well. It's the competition is massive. And looking at this guy, just 18 million. That's literally our kind of like signing.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the next rumor which we have right now is because like if Correa ends up leaving, we have to sign a forward,
Hmm.
and then the two forwards like which we are linked with are Darwin Nunez or Victor Gyökeres from Sporting.
Hmm.
For me, I would say Darwin Nunez. I would have gone for him, no doubt. His work rate is brilliant. I mean, just imagine Julian Alvarez and Darwin Nunez pressing up front.
Hmm.
You pass them, then you have to go with Depor, Lorente, Gallagher. Like, we can be a pressing menace, literally, with that, with having Darwin Nunez in our starting lineup. But the problem with Darwin Nunez is his
Finishing,
finishing.
finishing.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Like
Yeah.
we don't wanna end up buying another Morata kind of a player. Where we like, like even though like everything is doing perfectly but like again the main thing that matters for a striker is his finishing. If he improves on that, then it's great. But again, we don't know what we're gonna get from Darwin Nunes. And the thing is, like we can get him for pretty cheap as well, like 35 to 40 million, I guess,
Hmm.
because his transfer market value has come down. And then the next option we have is Victor Gyökeres, which is I think I don't know, like we have to like take a loan from the bank account or something because this guy is gonna come really expensive. But the stats of this guy is a powerhouse. This guy is a beast. This guy is
Hmm.
that classic Diego Costa signing. Like literally, like he can hold the ball. He's fast. I mean, like he's faster than Diego Costa. Obviously, it's like Diego Costa on steroids. Literally, he's
Hmm.
faster than him, and like the physique is brilliant of Victor Gyökeres as well, and his finishing is pretty good as well, and his link up play as well. So imagine having Sorloth and Victor Gyökeres, and then we have the playmaking ability of Julian Alvarez, which I think we should go for Victor Gyoke. But again, this guy is going to be pretty expensive, and we're going to face a lot of competition as well from other clubs. But we have to see on that. What would you prefer, Saint Kicks?
I think they're both great options. I know. I think people who are listening to us might look at us a little funny with Darwin Nunez. We're like, of all these strikers in Europe right now, it's like, but you have Osimhen, all these, you would go for Nunez. But I think is one of those players who certain players will perform for certain clubs because they identify with the club's values. And I think Atletico Madrid can get a lot out of Darwin Nunez. He has a very good base. He was great in Spain when he was playing for Almeria in the Segunda. I believe we were slightly linked to him years ago. We were linked to him with Benfica. He was fantastic for Benfica, but he decided to move to Liverpool. Didn't really quite work out. And he seems to be a player who's very confidence based. And Simeone has managed to get a lot out of almost every forward that has come through. I think when you realize that Morata was on course to getting about 25 goals in the league alone, not even just like the Champions League, other things. I think that speaks to Simeone's capabilities with strikers. And so I'd like to see Darwin Nunez. If Gyökeres is available for a cheaper price than what we've seen, I think,
No, it's
and we have the option to, if he would choose us of all things, then fantastic. But I think it's one of those players who are just is just too expensive, despite how good of a player he is. He might just be too expensive for what he's worth. I think he's a
but
really
yeah,
really good player.
yeah. I think that we're not definitely not getting Victor Gyokeres for cheap. I don't think
Hmm.
so because there's interest from too many clubs, and like there are clubs like who need a striker. Arsenal need a striker, so they're gonna be in competition as well.
Yeah,
Man United need a striker. They're gonna be in competition as well. Liverpool is looking for a striker as well because they're not really convinced with Darwin Nunez and Diego Jota.
Jota.
And then who are the Chelsea is looking for a striker as well,
Hmm.
but like they're mostly linked with Osimhen. But there are a lot of clubs which they are looking for strikers, and even Barca is looking for a striker because Lewandowski is leaving as well.
Hmm.
Sorry, he's not leaving. Like his age is coming to that factor.
Hmm.
But I think for Victor Gyokeres, there's going to be a massive competition. I won't be surprised if we go for Darwin Nunes. I won't be surprised because, like, I think coming off the bench, he'll be good. But again, if Griezmann leaves and Angel Correa leaves as well, it'll be just Julian Alvarez with those playmaking abilities. That's it. So like we need to like pretty like good signings for that match. But anyway, moving on to our next rumor, which was again pretty recent, which was Bantakur Rodrigo Bantakur and or Javi Guerra. Javi Guerra we've been linked a lot. I mean, like we almost signed him because of the Gallagher field deal.
Hmm.
But again, eventually a Gallagher deal happened, and then we had to send him back to Valencia. Uh, Again, we are linked with Javi Guerra pretty much. I think I don't know like if we'll sign him or not, and then we were linked with Rodrigo Bantakur as well. For me, I would say Rodrigo Bantancourt, but like where will we where we will play him? To be honest, like we what we actually need is a defensive midfielder.
Hmm.
Like I can understand, like we have Pablo Barrios, we have DePaul, we have Gallagher. Bantancourt can be a really good at coming off the bench, or like he can start as well. Depends on. I think like he's one of the best midfielders in the Uruguay national team. With Tottenham, like he's okay, but like with Uruguay, like he's a really he's like a
Very, very
beast.
complete player.
Yeah, he's like a beast in there. Uh, for out of these two players, I think I would rather prefer Bantekur. But again, thing is the price tag. Javi Guerra, we can get him for cheap, very cheap.
Hmm.
But is he up to the mark of for Atleti standards? For me, he's not really. Javi Guerra is not really because I saw him play as well against us, the two matches which we played, and like he even cost like gifted us a goal as well. I'm not really convinced with the Javi Guerra. That's my take. And Bandakur, I would say like I don't know about this one to be honest. Like I'm not really sure about this one. What are your thoughts on this?
I agree with you. I think these are two good players. I think Javi Guerra, he's a little up and down because of the fact that he's young. I think if he does explode, he'll become that next big midfielder from Spain, just like what I think Barrios will be. I just like what some of these other players from Barcelona and these other younger players from Celta Vigo who are. Like they're just on the cusp of just about to be that next guy. He isn't that yet. He had a lot of interest from Bayern Munich because of that same thing that you just mentioned. It's like he's still not quite finished. He's a little bit raw. He has a lot of really interesting traits that people are looking at and they're like, maybe we should look at him. But I think the problem that I have with Javi Guerra is similar to the problem I have with Bentancur. It's not that they're bad players, is that I feel like we
Like, do we
needed a
actually need?
DM.
Yeah, do we actually
Yeah,
need that?
we really need a defensive midfielder, and neither of these two players are defensive midfielders. Um, you look at, ironically, in Valencia right now, there's another player from Valencia who I think, or at least on loan, which is I think is somebody who's interesting, is Baranachea.
Yeah,
He is recently signed to Aston Villa from Juventus, and if if the reports are true, he should be available for around 10 million, which is cheaper than both of the two options we just mentioned. And he would be a player who would directly benefit from us in terms of the fact that we need a defensive midfielder for a double pivot. He's been immense for Valencia this season in that same position. If we can go for him, we should go for him. There's other options too, but I think a cheap, high quality, high potential defensive midfielder should never be off the books for us. You know, and he's Argentine too. That's another plus, I guess.
that's true. Anyway, moving to our next, which is like pretty recent as well, and this is I think this is the rumor which I like the most, which is Cuti Romero, Christian Romero from Tottenham.
Hmm.
I think this guy is literally, it's like like this can be the best signing for us in the summer, along with the good striker, obviously.
Hmm.
Because like I think this guy is have that athletic DNA. I think so. Like
Hmm.
he's robust, like he's fearless, and plus obviously he has that Argentine blood. And again coming back to the Argentino de Madrid, like we're really creating a team from Argentina. But I think this guy can really cut it. The only problem is he's he's kind of like injury prone. This season he's been injured as well.
Hmm.
But and the price tag as well. I think like 55 million euros. I think we can make it happen. We can make it happen, and he can be really good at because we have Atletico leaving, we have Witzel leaving as well. So we're gonna definitely need a centre back. We need two centre backs, that's for sure.
Right.
And adding like imagine replacing Witzel with Cristiano Romero. I mean like That's even a much better upgrade than replacing Felix with Julio Alvarez for me.
Yeah,
And then for me, another option obviously would be the Santiago Moreno from Alaves with the buyback clause, which is way cheaper, 3 million. That's it.
yeah,
I think these two guys, and we are pretty much good with the defensive lineup. But again, not to mention, like we need a good left centre back as well. Like we don't know, but long list
yeah,
situation here. But again, like we are pretty much early. Actually, we still, I mean, like we still have a season to play. We're still not in the
yes,
summer transfer window yet, and there's
yeah.
always a lot of rumors like we have to talk about. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Cuti Romero joining us?
I think he's an amazing centre back. I think I watched him for years in Atalanta. I thought he was fantastic. I wanted him for Atletico. Then I saw the price tag and I knew Atletico were not even going to bother. I saw him go to Tottenham. He continued to be at that level. I saw him what he was for Argentina. You know, he did make an error in the last Argentina game, but amazing passer, very aggressive, very good ball winner for Argentina for Tottenham. He's a great centre back, and I think he is in large parts what you would think like almost like a savage type of player for Atletico. It's like you could basically see him in his image in our team. My only problem is Santiago Mourinho is a cheap, high quality centre back who is really good for squad use and would be really good rotating. Maybe he'll get even better than what we already have and what we've seen in Alaves. I my concern is Romero is a starter, and I'm not sure if signing another starter centre back is the wisest decision when we have Lunamont and Jimenez, who are very, very good centre backs in their own right.
Yeah,
It's like
but
this
again,
is
like this, there was a point like when PSG, for instance, we had to play Witzel and Longley in our defense, and we
right.
still managed to win that match. But there can be that kind of scenario as well in season because of the fact that like we have to play so many matches in a season. We have like cup games, league games, Champions League games. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. I think Simeone's player management is pretty good because, like, I mean,
He's
like
rotated
now,
very well this season.
yeah, exactly, and his player management is pretty good, and like his conversation with the players is pretty good as well. Like there was a recent interview from Sorloth where he said
Hmm.
like now I know like how like I'm on the bench like how to be like like how to be that important player even from the bench as well. So I think Simeone with the player management he can make it happen, and I think like adding him to the our defensive lineup would be really really good. But yeah, anyway, guys. So I think pretty much that's it for the latest episode from us. All the transfer rumors, it was a lot, and then the national break as well. And we'll see you guys next time for the Espanol review. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention one more person as well, Juan Garcia. Juan
Hmm.
Garcia from Espanyol, who can be a future keeper as well. So for me, I think like he's been like from the media point of view, he's been the like the next big thing, next goalkeeper thing, and if we have to secure him, we have to secure him like right now, because and then we can like loan him out obviously because we still have Oblak, and yeah, go on, take it from me. What do you think about Juan Garcia?
I think he's the best shot stopper this season as a keeper. I think maybe even better than Oblak this season. I'm not even sure, but it's like he's been phenomenal. And to come up from Segunda to be like this good of a player, it's no surprise that he's gotten so many eyes on him. The and I'm not sure what the situation was with Oblak. If he's staying, if he's going next season, there's a very uncertain situation with him. But securing somebody of the talent of Juan Garcia to me would be a fantastic deal because you'd get effectively another Oblak to last you who knows how many years long the line is. Like you're securing yourself for sure, and you can move on from there. So I think that's a great deal. I think that if we can go for it, we should go for it, and loan him back to Espanol and figure out everything. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
For sure, for sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been our longest episode actually because there were a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
And uh, like and subscribe to this channel as usual. And thank you so much for your support. And we're gonna keep bringing you guys videos and episodes about the games and the latest news as well. Again, you guys can follow us on X as well. You'll find the description. You'll find the link in the description, and you'll find the people as well that helped us with the infographics and the description as well. And see you guys on Friday for the preview for the Spaniel game and Opa Atleti.